I forgot to mention this last week, but that opening song. Last week, I kind of skipped the opening song to get to the episode, and I didn't realize that the scenes in the opening song were changed until after a couple Chibits pointed it out, and then I decided to watch the opening song this week, and wow, that opening song, oh god, as a light novel reader, oh shit, oh my god, you light novel readers, you know what I'm feeling right now, but damn. Okay, so, this episode of Sword Art Online Season 2 lays down the groundwork for the in-game goal of this arc. That's pretty much what this episode does, and we have an epic freaking cliffhanger, which I will get into later on in this review. Okay, so we are introduced to the Sleeping Knights. That's pretty much what the main concept of the beginning of the episode was. The introduction of all these different characters that make up this small guild called the Sleeping Knights. And their main objective is to actually beat a floor boss and have their name put on a big mantle. Just to have their name on this big, memorial thing, the stone tablet down on the first floor, for they will have their names there. And the only way to have everybody's names on that freaking, stone tablet is by having one party in a raid. Because if you have, let's say, 4 parties going in there, and you have 40 people, let's say there's 10 people in a party, okay? I know, this is hypothetical. Let's just say there's 10 people to a freaking party, and you had 4 parties, and you go in to fight the boss. Well, only 4 people will be put on the stone memorial because of only the party leaders will be put on it. So with this entire aspect, we find out the only way for the entire team to actually be put on right together near the floor boss that was taken down is by having one party. The only way to have the entire party pop up on the memorial, the stone memorial, is by having just one party, and that means every single name will pop up. So that's really cool. I like that a lot. And overall, that's a real massive setup. That's the in-game goal inside. The in-game goal is to beat a floor boss with one team, one party, and actually get their names on that tablet. Now, the thing is, a bunch of Chibits I know for a fact are going to be questioning, why would you really want to do this? I understand it's definitely some honor or pride in it. As a gamer, you gotta take it in this perspective. As a gamer, everybody has their different reasons for why they would go after certain specific achievements, accomplishments, or if you just want to have a completionist on a game. There's a bunch of, fellow gamers and otakus and all sorts of people that love doing stuff like this. So, you have to put it in this perspective. There's only a one-time ticket to get your name on the memorial, the stone memorial. Because, once all the floor bosses are cleared out, there's no longer any more room for anybody's names to be put on it. For instance, once you kill that floor boss, your name will not pop up on that floor boss if you kill it, let's say, 2 months later after it was already firstly killed. So, pretty much with this, it's actually pride as a gamer to get your name on that tablet to actually show that you helped progress the game to the very end. That's pretty much what it is, and it's honor. It's understandable why they would be willing to do that. Now, there's a little bit of things in this episode that talks about some certain elements about the Sleeping Knights. We find out that the Sleeping Knights will have their own things to deal with when it comes to spring. They will have no more time to actually play games, and they'll have to split up or do whatever they said. For instance, they'll be too busy with their lives coming spring. So their only chance to actually do something together to make happy memories is by trying to beat this floor boss and getting their pride on this stone memorial. So, that's pretty much what the overall setup of the beginning of the episode was, and then you have the entire conversation where Asuna joins their party to try to help them out, because they needed 7 members total to be able to take down a floor boss, and since Asuna is technically a badass healer berserker, yeah, she can definitely help them out. Now, the thing is we find out something very interesting in this episode. Asuna asks Yuki, why didn't you choose Kirito? Why didn't you choose him? You would think you would choose him since he was a lot better than me. That's pretty much what Asuna said to Yuki, and then Yuki pointed out saying, no, he knew my secret. I'm whoa. So, foreshadowing? Anyways, with that overall element of this episode, pretty much, there's just a lot of setup. A lot of setup is being displayed in this episode for the overall grand scheme of things, and then we go into the next parts of the episode with the mother of Asuna's mother. Now, oh my god, wow, the hate on Asuna's mother is real. Oh, the hate I saw in the comments last week from you cheaters about her, oh my god. I thought I was the only one that hated that bitch. I really thought I was the only one that hated her when I read the read the light novel. I was gonna say manga. When I read the light novel and, actually watched the episode, I thought I was the only one that really despised her to that extent. To see how many actually despise her, I'm like, damn. Just, holy crap. So, yeah, she's probably one of the least likable characters from Sword Art Online Season 2. I'm willing to bet it, because I don't think anyone really likes her, the way she's been acting, the way she's trying to force her dreams upon her daughter. For instance, the mother is just like, oh, since I failed at my life and I was born into an unrich family, pretty much, I want to force my dreams upon you, Asuna, my child, to make sure you succeed. This happens a lot, but that's what the mother's attitude is right at the moment, and she's crushing her child's overall personality and her own dreams and her own objectives she wants to do, and so that's pretty sad if you think about it like that. Now, the thing was, though, with that scene, once again, Asuna's mother proves just how big of a bitch she is, because you have it to where she thinks all the communication and connection in the game is technically not real. It's not real communication. That is what Asuna's mother just says straight out and flat to Asuna in this episode when she wakes up. And honestly, that's pretty messed up, because, I mean, even if it's just a game, you're playing in a game, you're still talking to real people, and you can still play with your friends and have fun. I mean, I've had my fair share of fun times in the past playing games. I'd be pissed off if someone called it like it wasn't a real conversation or something, or real communications, because, I mean, some people do play games together to talk about school. I mean, not a lot. I know for a fact very far and few in between, but some do play games to actually communicate about school sometimes. So, it's really frustrating getting to see how Asuna's mother is just being straight out a bitch. Like, if someone grabbed my, cord, my Ethernet cord, and deplugged it when I'm in a fucking game, and I see that done to me, oh my god, I'd be pissed. Oh my god, I'd be pissed. Like, yeah, okay, put this in perspective. Asuna's mother comes into her room and disconnects her freaking Ethernet cord in the middle of the game. Like, what if she would have been in the middle of a boss or an important conversation? Thank God she wasn't. Thank God she was just strolling through the town and she finished up her message she was sending. Because if she wasn't, that would have been very bad. Very, 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 very bad. And I mean, you gotta put it in this other perspective too. I mean, what if, this is just hypothetical, but I mean, what if Asuna was, stuck in SAO again? Like, what if she was connected, to a nerve gear or something and she could have died if the Ethernet cord was deplugged? Like, I mean, the mother clearly was not thinking at all. Like, I mean, seriously, that's what gets people killed in the first season, because you go off and deplug cords without thinking, and it killed a bunch of people. So, I mean, what if Asuna was trapped in SAO still, or somehow she got trapped in that instant? She could have died. She really could have died right there because of her mother's stupid self, pretty much. Now, moving on. Let's move on to the other segments of this episode. The ending. The ending of this episode, it sets up for the boss that the Sleeping Knights are about to pretty much fight. Now, the thing is, at the end of this episode, we find out that this guild that has been going around and killing the floor bosses one by one quickly, and they actually are watching other smaller guilds, try to fight these bosses, and when they fight the bosses, they have, a regular familiar go inside the room with the party to look and see exactly how the boss reacts, its techniques, its, maneuvers, stuff like that, and you find out, this guild is about to take down this boss, but they're blocking the way for the Sleeping Knights can get to them, so they can't really get there. So the only option that was available to the Sleeping Knights was to actually do a frontal assault against this guild that is blocking their path. But thankfully enough, at the end of this episode, when you see the reinforcements come for the guild, the big, large guild, you see Kirito jump in front, he says the exact same line to them. It's like, this area is off limits. Oh, damn, dude. That irony, that's badass. Oh my god, that was a really badass scene with this episode. So overall, episode, it's enjoyable. A really good episode, a lot of setup. Like I said, this episode has a lot of setup, don't get me wrong. It may seem like it was slow, but personally, this episode progressed positively. It was a great episode. It got the point across, and it set up those subtle foreshadowing hints perfectly in this episode. So yeah, tell me your thoughts in the comments below, Chibits. How do you feel about this week's episode of Sword Art Online Season 2? Did you enjoy it? Did you hate it? What was your favorite moments about it? How do you feel about this Asuna-themed arc? Are you enjoying it, or do you just really despise this arc? Let me know in the comments below. You all have a wonderful day, wonderful night, wherever you live. Please be safe. Chibi out.